Welcome to ChronoMora, where time doesn't flow in a straight line. It bends, fractures, and sometimes hides things that were never meant to be found. Here, every story is a doorway. Some open into memories, others into nightmares that refuse to stay buried. If you're listening tonight, it means something has already pulled you in, something you can't quite explain. In the silence between seconds, ChronoMora reveals what reality tries to forget. Whispered rooms, forgotten corridors, and truths locked behind walls that should never be touched. Tonight's story is one of those truths, and once you hear it, you may start noticing the walls around you breathing a little differently. If you would like to send us an incident that happened to you or a story you heard, you can write or record it and send it via email. The email address is given in the About option of our channel. I am reading it as it is written here. Let's get started. I still remember the exact moment I found the hidden door in my house, because it felt like the house found me first. It wasn't planned. I was simply moving furniture in the hallway of the old property I had just inherited from my late uncle. The wall behind a heavy wooden cabinet looked slightly off, like it didn't belong to the rest of the structure. At first, I thought it was just age and poor construction, but when my fingers brushed against the surface, I felt a faint vibration, like something on the other side was breathing. I stepped back, laughing nervously at my own imagination, but the sound that came next erased all amusement. A soft, deliberate knock from inside the wall. I froze. The house was silent otherwise. No wind, no creaks, nothing. Just that single knock repeating itself, slowly, deliberately, as if it was responding to my presence. I told myself it must be pipes or settling wood, but deep down, I knew it wasn't. I pressed my ear against the wall, and that's when I heard it clearly. A whispering sound, like someone dragging words through water. I couldn't understand the language, but it felt ancient. My body reacted before my mind did. I stepped away, heart pounding, convinced I was experiencing stress hallucinations from moving in alone. Still, I couldn't ignore the fact that the wall sounded hollow, and worse, aware. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every few minutes, I thought I heard faint tapping coming from the same wall. Sometimes it sounded like fingers, sometimes like nails scraping. Around 3:17 a.m., I got up, unable to resist anymore. I brought a flashlight and a screwdriver, telling myself I would just inspect it properly and then sleep peacefully. But when I tapped the wall, the sound returned instantly, from the inside. A perfect imitation of my own knock. I tried again. It mirrored me again. That's when I realized I wasn't communicating with pipes or animals. Whatever was behind that wall, it was learning me. The next morning, I inspected the house's blueprints I found in the attic. Most of it was normal, until I noticed a section of the hallway that didn't exist in the current structure. According to the original design, there was supposed to be a small storage chamber behind the wall I had discovered, but in later renovations it had been sealed permanently. No explanation. No records of what it was used for. Just a note scribbled in faded ink. Do not reopen under any condition. My hands trembled as I read it, because I hadn't told anyone about the knocking. And yet, someone had already warned against opening it. By evening, curiosity had replaced fear. I started removing the paneling carefully. The wood was strangely soft, almost damp, despite no water damage in the rest of the house. Behind it was not brick or cement, but another layer of wooden boards, nailed in from both sides. That made no sense. Why would someone seal a room twice? As I pried one nail loose, a sudden cold burst of air hit my face. It smelled like iron and something rotten beneath it. And then I heard it again. This time not knocking, but breathing. Slow, patient, waiting. I stopped immediately, but it was already too late. Something inside knew I was close. That night, the house changed. The hallway light flickered even though I had turned off the main power. Shadows stretched longer than they should have, bending toward the sealed wall. I tried sleeping in another room, but I kept waking up facing the hallway again as if my body was being moved while I slept. Around midnight, I heard footsteps from inside the wall. Not random movement, walking, back and forth, like pacing. Then suddenly, a loud impact shook the entire corridor, as if something slammed its body against the wood. The boards cracked slightly, and through the gap, I saw something watching me. It wasn't a face in the human sense. It looked almost like skin stretched too tightly over something unfamiliar, with no clear eyes, just darker voids where they should be. It didn't blink. It just stayed there, pressing against the crack I had made. I couldn't move. My mind screamed at me to run, but my body refused. Then it did something unexpected. It tilted its head slightly, mimicking me from earlier. It had been observing me the entire time, learning my behavior, my reactions, my fear patterns, and then it smiled. Not a friendly smile, a recognition, like it finally understood what I was. I don't remember running, but I remember being in the kitchen afterward, gasping for air. My hands were bleeding from where I must have scraped them on the wood. I locked every door in the house, but I knew locks didn't matter anymore, because whatever was behind that wall wasn't trapped, it was contained. There's a difference. Containment means intention. Someone put it there for a reason, and I had just weakened that barrier. As I sat there trying to calm down, I heard the kitchen cabinet slowly open behind me. I didn't turn around. I already knew it wasn't supposed to be open. The next morning, I called a local contractor under the excuse of structural damage. When he arrived, I asked him casually about the sealed section. His reaction changed instantly. He refused to go near the hallway. He told me, almost angrily, that the house had a reputation in the village. People avoided it for decades. He said my uncle wasn't the first owner to live there, just the first one to stop coming out. When I asked what happened to the others, he left without answering. Before he drove off, he rolled down the window and said one sentence I will never forget. "If it starts learning you, it's already too late." That night, I decided I had to end it. I couldn't live like this, and I couldn't leave without knowing. I brought a hammer, crowbar, and flashlight into the hallway. The air felt heavier than before, like pressure building inside a sealed lung. As I approached the wall, the knocking started again, but this time it wasn't random. It was forming rhythm, a pattern, almost like speech. Then I realized it was repeating my own footsteps from earlier that day. Perfectly. I raised the crowbar, and the wall went silent. The silence was worse than the noise. I struck the wood once, twice. On the third strike, the entire section gave way slightly, revealing darkness beyond it. But this wasn't just empty space. It was depth, impossibly deep, like the room extended far beyond the house's physical limits. My flashlight beam didn't reach the end. Then from inside, I heard my own voice call my name. Exactly as I say it. Same tone, same hesitation. I stepped back immediately. The wall responded with laughter. Low, broken, almost mechanical. It wasn't mocking me. It was imitating me, laughing. I stopped sleeping altogether after that. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the room extending inside my mind. Hallways that shouldn't exist. Doors that moved when not observed. And something following me, not walking but recreating my movement after I made it. I started noticing changes in my behavior. I would reach for objects before thinking about them. I would turn my head towards sounds before hearing them. It wasn't just observing me anymore. It was predicting me. Or worse, replacing the need for me to decide. On the fourth night, the house lights turned on by themselves. Every single one. The hallway door slowly opened on its own, revealing the broken wall. The opening was wider now, almost like it had been carefully expanded from inside. And from that darkness, something stepped halfway out. It didn't fully emerge. It didn't need to, because what I saw was already enough. Myself, standing there, looking exactly like me, but wrong. Slightly delayed in movement, smiling before I did, watching me as if I was the intruder in my own home. I tried to speak, but no sound came out. The other version of me tilted its head and spoke instead. "You opened it wrong." Its voice wasn't distorted. It was familiar. Too familiar. Like hearing your own recorded voice played back with subtle changes that make your skin crawl. I backed away slowly, but it mirrored every step instantly. Then it said something that shattered whatever certainty I had left. "We were never inside the wall. You were always outside." Something inside my mind snapped. I ran, down the stairs, out the front door, into the street. But even outside, I didn't feel free, because the house lights were still on. And in every window I saw movement. Not random shadows. Coordination. Like something inside was learning how to exist in different perspectives of me at once. I called the police, but when they arrived, the house looked completely normal. No broken walls, no openings, no hidden room. They told me I was stressed and suggested I stay elsewhere. But before they left, one officer quietly asked, "How long have you been alone in that house?" That question haunted me, because I didn't know the answer anymore. Days passed, but the house felt like it was still with me. I started noticing small inconsistencies in my reflection. Slight delays, different blinking patterns. Sometimes my reflection smiled when I didn't. I avoided mirrors after that. But one night I couldn't resist. And when I looked, I saw it again. Not just me, but the version of me from the wall, standing right behind my reflection. Waiting, I returned to the house one final time despite knowing I shouldn't. The hallway was unchanged, but the air felt different. Lighter, like something had left. The wall was sealed again, perfectly repaired, no trace of damage, as if nothing had ever happened. I stood there for a long time, unsure whether I had imagined everything. Then I heard a final knock from inside the wall. One last message. Slow, deliberate, familiar. It spelled out a rhythm I recognized immediately. It was my heartbeat. I stepped closer, shaking. The wall responded instantly with my movement. I whispered, "What are you?" And from inside came my own voice answering, "We are what you observe long enough." The implication didn't hit me immediately, but when it did, I felt my stomach drop. It wasn't trapped. It wasn't alive in the way I understood life. It was adaptation, something that learns by becoming the observer. And I had been its teacher. I left the house permanently after that night. I burned my connection to it, sold everything, moved far away. But even now, I sometimes catch myself acting a fraction too late, pausing before thinking, reacting before feeling, like something inside me is still adjusting, still syncing with something I once let into my life. I never went back, but I know the house didn't stay empty. It doesn't need people to live. It needs observation, and somewhere, in a place that may still be my old home, something is still learning me. And if you ever find yourself in a quiet house where the walls feel slightly too aware, don't test them. Don't listen for answers. Because some doors are not meant to be opened. They are meant to observe the one who opens them. And once you become the subject of that observation, you stop being the original version of yourself. You become something else. Something that continues, even when you're gone.